Hey guys, RanterInShades here, exercising my First Amendment rights vlog style. Now, I wasn't originally going to make a video about this. I was just going to make a big post on my Facebook and be done, because this doesn't exactly fit the theme or the style of my channel. But the more I thought about it, the more it led me to ultimately deciding, fuck it, I don't care, I'm going to make a video. What do I got to lose? So here we are. This video is going to contribute to the exposure of none other than iMustDestroyAll, or MustDestroyAll, or MDA for short. For those of you in my audience that don't know who MustDestroyAll is, he's a YouTuber I've known for a long time. Back around the time I first started making videos, he was a very big name in the ranting community, and one who was very respected due to his gimmick of being a demon from hell, his unique style of presentation, and his method of argumentation. I was a pretty big fan of his back in the day, and he still occasionally makes decent videos, save for the long, unscripted responses. However, I'm not much of a fan these days, and let me explain why. Just a warning, the setup is going to be kinda long before the meat of the video kicks in, but it's relevant, so strap in. What MDA is mainly known for on YouTube, other than his demon gimmick, is exposing and criticizing various YouTubers for things such as hypocrisy, lying, and other inconsistencies. And one person he got a lot of notoriety for going after back in 2013 was MrRepzion. I refer to this time period as RepGate. This ended up being one of the biggest drama shitstorms the community had ever seen, and if you were around in 2013, 2014, this was shoved in your face. This is something I should have done a long time ago, but to sum up RepGate, basically MDA made a video towards MrRepzion regarding some depressive Tumblr posts he was making at the time, as well as his praising view of euthanasia. Basically, what Repzion believes is that if you make the choice to die, you should have that choice, especially if you're terminally ill. Now, with the argument about terminal illness, I can understand. If it hurts to live, I can understand wanting to have the plug pulled. But the thing that got a lot of people confused was that he referred to the act of assisted suicide as beautiful. Now, I don't agree with that at all, but I didn't really take any offense to what he was saying. Now, I believe both MDA and Repzion were at fault at this point. The reason why I think that is because they were friends at this time. I believe MDA was once an admin on Rep's Facebook page, even. I didn't think, and still don't think, this was something that warranted a video, as it seemed like an issue that was too personal for YouTube. MDA could have gone to Rep personally to talk about these issues, see if he's okay, etc. And the reason why I think he made this into a video instead of talking to the guy, called a wild accusation, but I honestly think he just wanted to get views. Now, how was Repzion at fault here? He could have gone to MDA to talk about the issues that were being brought up in the video, rather than be reactionary and try to get the video taken down. And him doing that resulted in MDA making another video, MrRepzion Exposed. Now, the position I took was not exactly a popular opinion. By no means did I ever, at any point, condone or defend MrRepzion going to the lengths that he did to get MDA's video taken down. And neither did my friend Take Shot Action, although MDA and his crew will tell you differently. But I chose to not partake in what I saw as a boycott of Rep's channel, considering his content helped me and influenced me a good bit back in the day, and I still enjoy a lot of his content to this day. I also didn't want to make a big public spectacle about this because A, I felt like I was being coerced or bullied into doing so when I don't like being told what to do or how to act online, and B, I didn't want to take my channel in a direction where I'd be making a lot of drama-related videos, which is not to say that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm doing that right now, and I've made a few in the past. UTF, Lind, Spiztriz, and maybe one or two others I'm forgetting, but I wanted to make content like the kind I've been making for the past 2 to 3 years. I enjoy making that kind of content. YouTube is supposed to be fun, but drama videos just didn't sound like fun to me. And because I wasn't complying with the narrative that MDA and his crew were pushing about Repzion, I was painted as a blind, in-denial fanboy, and Take Shot Action was given similar treatment, maybe worse considering he's actually friends with Rep. Our stances were being twisted to make the both of us look bad, and by mid to late 2014, my reputation on YouTube was almost destroyed by MDA because of the stance that I took. So I stopped being friends with MDA and haven't cared to talk to him ever since. He doesn't like me, and I don't like him either, and I had no desire to be in contact with him anymore. Doesn't mean I won't still watch his videos every once in a while, but overall, I wanted nothing to do with him anymore. So for the past 2 years, ever since the beginning of 2015, I've been trying to avoid MDA, not be anywhere near him, not read any Facebook posts from him, etc. Occasionally his name might come up in conversations with some select people, but talking about him and seeing anything from him just brings back some uncomfortable memories of the past that I've had with him. Even making this video right now, that time period is not the easiest for me to talk about. For the most part, I've moved on from what happened back then and decided to just focus on myself, making content, and of course, course, music. Most other people have moved on too, including SkullRipper4900, who although made a very venomous response to the situation, which really upset me considering how close of a friend I viewed him as, and didn't talk to me for about half a year, him and I are friends again as of mid-2015, and I view him as being one of my closest friends online. One other reason I wasn't sure if I wanted to make a video about this is because I was worried, and still am kind of worried, people would comment, "Lol, you're still butthurt about shit from 3 years ago? Get over it, you goober." But like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't care anymore. I've moved on from that shit. The time has come now to break some silence, both about the past and now, as one of the bigger names in the current incarnation of the ranting community. I know I'm probably repeating a lot from other videos that were made about this situation, but here's what's going on with MDA now. About 2 to 3 weeks ago, information came out about MDA messaging some teenage girls for nudes. He'd pester them to send him pictures of their ass or full body pics, be really sexual with them, pester them about when they're gonna turn 18, as these girls were ranging from 15 to 17 years old, and even getting extremely psychopathic if they either didn't feel comfortable sending him pictures, or if the pictures they did send him weren't current and of good quality. And he's been doing this as far back as 2013, according to the video made by Eternal Sunny D. To put it bluntly, the guy's a creep, and potentially a pedophile, or an ephebophile to be more technical, someone who is attracted to teens. Linked in the description is going to be some Imgur albums showing the evidence of this. Viewer discretion is advised, cause this shit gets brutal. When I first heard about these claims, I was skeptical at first. At the time, there wasn't a superb amount of information to work with, and I didn't want to jump to conclusions and just assume that he's guilty. Doing that would make me look biased or butthurt about old shit, like I said earlier. Well, now, more information is out, and it confirms everything. Now please keep in mind, nothing I am saying is being said out of bias against MDA, but I say he's guilty. And I have 2 reasons as to why I believe he's guilty. Number 1, a large amount of videos made about this situation are getting flagged down, presumably by MDA. I know that there's not really enough hard evidence to prove that someone flagged a video unless we're talking about a privacy complaint or a DMCA, and for all we know, someone else could be flagging the videos, but reasonable assumption is a thing. The main reason why I believe it's MDA doing the flagging is because I've noticed a pattern. The videos that got flagged all showed his real face, and probably his real name too, which is why I'm going to show neither in this video, as sort of an experiment. But if you believe this video might get flagged, you are more than welcome to download this video or mirror it on your channel. I understand wanting to be protective of your personal information because you don't want to be a victim of doxing. Like, I'm very protective of my personal information, such as my address, my personal email as opposed to my YouTube email, which I'm sure is easy to figure out, my phone number, IP, and other shit like that. I don't mind people knowing that my real name is Michael, I'm 23 years old, and I live in Massachusetts, and I was also careful about revealing the name of the college I went to until I mentioned it in my most recent room tour video around the time of graduation because I didn't want to dox myself. But MDA's real face and real name have been kind of known for the past 2 or 3 years, as I remember them both getting revealed in 2014. I would have liked it if he had addressed that issue back then, but he still to this day is really sensitive about his face and name being out there, so much to the point that he's taking these extreme measures to hide the information. Number 2, it's been about 3 weeks and MDA has said nothing. He hasn't been saying anything on either Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Ironically, the lack of action is speaking volumes. And the reason why I say that is because if you look throughout the history of MDA's channel, he's had a history of responding to even the pettiest, tiniest amount of criticism. Some nobody left a comment about my opinion being invalid because I wear a mask and use a voice changer? Better make a video about it. People don't like my dumb Google Hangouts? Better make a video about that. He takes criticism very seriously. I guess because he sees that as an obligation for being a public figure on YouTube. But this right now is far beyond petty shit. Harassing girls online, underage or not, is a serious fucking thing to be accused of. If I were in this position, I would be making a point to defend myself and show proof that the accusations are false. But is MDA doing that? No! He's choosing to sit underneath the stairwell, sucking his thumb and crying like the coward he is. One other thing that was pointed out in the video Melly Misfit made about this situation was that MDA was still lurking online. She showed her Facebook Messenger and it showed that Maverick Arson had been active 3 minutes ago. And he's saying nothing! He's not making any posts, he's not making any videos, and he's not even responding to anyone that's tried to message him about this. And the couple people I've talked to that had tried messaging him told me that their message showed up as read. He's seeing these messages, and he's saying nothing back! All this evidence has shown me that this fucker is guilty, and this astounds me for 2 reasons. Number 1, he's getting all these videos taken off YouTube, which is pretty much the entire premise of why he went after MrRepzion. And number 2, said videos contain evidence of him doing the same shit he went after the Truth Hurts Network for doing back in 2013. For those of you who weren't around back then or don't know who the Truth Hurts Network was, he was a teenager who specialized in making these edgy rants with lots and lots of jump cuts that were honestly a bit too on the vulgar side and taking things too far. But around the time I was first getting acquainted with the Ranting Community, he was exposed for recording a Skype call with a 17-year-old girl who will remain anonymous and recording her masturbating. Not only did he possess what is technically underage porn, but he also shared it around with a bunch of people, including Burn Coalition, who at the time was 13. MDA hated TTHN for doing what he did and the way he conducted himself online. He basically considered him cancer to the community, which even I don't exactly disagree with, and here he is doing pretty much the same thing he condemned TTHN for doing. The hypocrisy is astounding, especially considering this is a guy who's known for criticizing others for being hypocritical, and who built a reputation acting as an arbiter for morals and ethics online. Well, look at him now. The shoe is on the other foot. I'll bet it feels great, doesn't it, MDA? Taking every possible measure to ensure that this information is off the internet, just like you went after MrRepzion for doing. How delightful. And if I'm to be honest, I'm loving every minute of this. There's something empowering, and also comical, about seeing this guy who's treated me like shit, and who almost ruined my reputation online, get his comeuppance, and get reduced to a sniveling bitch. It tastes so sweet. Call it immature, call it what you will, but that's the truth. I'm laughing like a deranged lunatic like you see in cartoons. But despite all that I've said in this video, I don't hate MDA. At least not until now, considering I hate pedophiles and hate grown men that hit on teenagers. But even when MDA almost ruined my reputation and turned a bunch of people against me, I did not hate him then. I still viewed him as a respectable content creator and still enjoyed most of his videos. Again, with the exception of the long responses as well as the hangouts. It only took until now to have a legitimate reason to hate him, because I don't like to throw the word hate around at every person I don't like. Not unless they kill someone, rape someone, are into kids or teens, or have fucked with me or someone close to me on a personal level. Those are the kinds of people that are warranting of hatred. You should also know that even though I dislike MDA, I still want some kind of resolution from him about this. Remember when Creationist Cat got doxxed a couple years ago? He made a video addressing the situation, made his real identity a part of his gimmick, and spoke for his worthless human slave by saying he didn't give a fuck. CC handled that situation with class. MDA is not handling this with class. Even while not liking the guy, I still want him to come out and say something. Anything. Armored Skeptic, one of my favorite YouTubers ever, is another example. When he got doxxed, yeah, it was horrible, but he ultimately accepted it and now has a channel called Armored Gregory where he appears on camera. And he also appears on camera in the videos he makes with his girlfriend, Shoe on Head, on both his Armored Media channel and Shoe's side channel, Shoe Off Head. He's handling people knowing his real name and face pretty classily too. Why can't MDA do that? This isn't me trying to normalize doxing, just to make myself clear. Doxing is one of the worst things you could do on the internet. All I'm saying is that if information gets out, as deserving as the person responsible is of some kind of consequence, retaliating by taking extreme action against them isn't going to make you look good. CC and Armored Skeptic both understood that, so they didn't do anything that would make them look just as bad as the people doxing them. Like I said, they handled it with class, unlike MDA. MDA would have so much balls in my eyes if he did what Creationist Cat did. If he came on camera, took the mask off since his face has been revealed, and addressed the situation, just like he did with drama in the past. If it turns out he's innocent, that's great. And I'm sure everyone who's made a video about him throughout this situation, myself included, will apologize to him if he proves his innocence. Whether he chooses to leave YouTube or continue to make content after addressing the situation is entirely up to him. But it's been almost 3 weeks, and I think the writing's on the wall. Now I'm sure 1 or 2 of you might be asking, Shades, would you have made this video if you were still friends with MDA? Probably, yeah. I was on pretty good terms with the Truth Hurts Network before he was exposed, and I didn't defend him. I might not have made a video about that situation, but I didn't defend him. If there wasn't any bias with him, I doubt there would be any bias with MDA either. If only a certain Mexican lady understood that. Let me end this video by saying this. I am not a perfect person. I have my flaws. I've made my fair share of mistakes and done my fair share of stupid shit that I'm not proud of. But I'm able to assess myself and learn from the situation in order to change for the better. I definitely could have handled RepGate better and could have been more articulate with my opinion there. But I learned from the situation and moved on. MDA, on the other hand, has built a reputation for being an arbiter for morals and ethics online. He has built an image for himself as being someone who's flawless and can do no wrong. He's created an image of being intimidating so that people are scared to call him out. No one's scared of you anymore. Your empire is crumbling down, and it's beautiful and picturesque to see. And just to add insult to injury, your relevance is dying too. You've only made 8 videos in 2016, not including the Hangouts. Your channel is barely growing, and from what I've seen, you've barely interacted with the community and the community audience. All the while, people like me and a bunch of my friends are growing on YouTube, being more consistent with uploading, interacting more with the community and the community audience, and overall, we've become more relevant than you. That must feel like such a kick to the balls, huh, MDA? This guy who makes boring fucking content, who you more than likely saw as someone contributing to the quote-unquote death of the ranting community, is more relevant than you. The community now is much different than the community in 2013, 2014, and I think it's gotten better. People are friendlier, there's less internal drama, people are more willing to have dialogue if they don't agree with someone about something, and now more than ever, it feels like a community again. Hell, now that I think about it, the whole reason I and other people have been refraining from calling the ranting community a community was because of people like MDA and his crew. They were contributing to the division of the community, but now it feels like the community vibe has rejuvenated, and I love that. In conclusion, with all this out of the way, after all these years of the community putting up with your, ironically, holier-than-thou, drama whore, hypocritical, censoring, cowardly, little girl-loving ass, with your reign on YouTube going the way of the Roman Empire, MustDestroyAll, consider yourself and your reputation destroyed. I'm Shades, and I'll see you next time.